Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. So in the last talk we read verses 41 through 43, and we said that they are a key teaching to the science of Karma Yoga and to understanding the Bhagavad Gita in large. So we will go more in depth into them now. 41. Hear, O joy of the Kurus, there is but a single one-pointed determination. Many branched and endless are the thoughts of the irresolute. So when a person is doing Karma Yoga, there is only one thought. What is my dharma? What do I need to do? But you need to be very, very resolved to do this. You need to be very, very firm, because temptations are there and a lot. So, single one-pointed determination. One is determined to practice the Dharma, to follow a righteous way of life, and to do the yoga practices to elevate oneself from this cycle of birth and death. And Swami Shivananda tells us here, in the path to bliss, there is only one thought of the resolute nature. There is single-minded determination. The single thought arises from the right source of knowledge. The student of yoga collects all the dissipated rays of the mind. He gathers all of them through discrimination, dispassion, and concentration. He is free from wavering or vacillation of the mind. So this is the yoga student who is following a righteous way of living, who is determined to do the right and to lift him or herself up from samsara, from the cycle of birth and death. But what happens to those who are not? This verse already gives us a preview. Many branched and endless are the thoughts of the irresolute, meaning that for one who is not determined to follow Dharma and to practice yoga, the mind goes in endless directions. And this is because one thing that the Bhagavad Gita repeats again and again and again, and many of you already know, it is desires. It is the desires that pull us in all directions. And now Lord Krishna is giving a very, very strong criticism against those that trade in our desires, that make a fortune on our nature that is extroverted, that follows desires. Flowery speech, this is verse 42, flowery speech is uttered by the unwise, taking pleasure in the eulogizing words of the Vedas, or Arjuna, saying there is nothing else. So the context of this verse is the science of karma kanda. What used to be in ancient Vedic society, it exists to some degree nowadays too, but this is the context. And the idea of karma kanda, of people who see only the realm of karma, is that there is a remedy for everything. You did something wrong, I will do this ceremony, it will take off the bad karma. You want to attain this goal, this house, this money, this job, whatever it is, I will do this ceremony, you will get it. And keep in mind, there were very, very capable priests following the karma kanda, and they could bring the desired results. But the thing is, we can give an allegory to a person who is on a very, very bad diet. So you can tell the person, listen, you are doing a lot of damages to your body. Why are you on this bad diet? Please change your eating habits. start following a better diet that is healthier for your body. And then we'll come here like the Karma Kanda and we'll say, why change the diet? There is nothing wrong in excessive eating, in eating junk food. You can have it as much as you want. I'll give you this medicine and this will solve everything. Why bother following a proper way of life when we can just give this medicine? It will solve everything. But what is the problem here? The problem here is that we start depending on something external to offset the damaging results of what we're doing. And on the way, we completely lose track of what is right. Now, in the bigger context of yoga and spirituality, if there is just an expiatory ceremony for whatever we do, what is the need to follow moral? What is the need to think of God? We can give you good life here, we can do the ritual that sends you to heaven, and we can do the ritual that will get you a good birth after you finish your time in heaven. This was the promise of the Karma Kanda. So we're taking care of all your material needs. What is the need for moral? What is the need for God? What is the need for practices? And this was very, very tempting. Very, very tempting for many people. Remember, we read verse 43, full of desires, having heaven as their goal, they utter speech which is directed to ends leading to new birth as the result of their work, and prescribe various methods abounding in specific actions for the attainment of pleasure and power. But no morality, no God. And on the individual level, one starts to get corrupt and one becomes much more susceptible to the hardships of the world. On the bigger level, a society without dharma, without morality, that's completely depending on expiatory rituals, is doomed. This is what it says here. How do we understand it better? How do we break this unfortunate situation? We will see in the next talks. Om Shanti.